tonight forever.
You come to Boise State as a player to win championships. As a coach, you come here to win championships.
Hands it off to Jitty up the middle, breaks clear.
One of the biggest games of my life. I think the nerves will be at an all-time high.
Off and running with Miami to the end zone. Touchdown UNLV.
I want to represent Vegas, and they've been so great to us, and it's time for us to give back to them.
Accomplish something that's never been done in UNLV history before and make it to the championship. So we're ready to win it.
Hassanin for the sack.
We're going to come out and we're going to win, and we're going to put our head down, and then we're just going to go to work, and we're going to finish the season strong.
I mean, no one's been this big in Vegas since Sinatra at the Sahara.
We're a winning program. We're here to win. And now, you know, the last chapter is a championship in the Mountain West.
Kalani shakes two tacklers, sees the end zone.
It's been a while since we won the Mountain West Championship. It was back in 2019. So, yeah, for sure, it'll mean a lot for us, and we've been long due for one, for sure.
Just get out to him right there in the middle.
You just got to win, man. It's the final game, the final everything. Lay all the chips out on the line, so just win.
On a beautiful sun-splashed day in the desert, a champion will be crowned in the Mountain West. It's Championship Saturday, and for the first time ever, the title bout is being held in Las Vegas. In the blue corner, Boise State is here for a Mountain West record 7th time, 6th time in the last 7 years. And in the red corner, UNLV making its first ever appearance here in the Mountain West Championship game. Hi everybody, welcome inside Allegiant Stadium. Jesse Kurtz, Bridget Howard, and Bridget, Las Vegas is electric right now, and you've spent all week here with the Rebels. What's been the vibe?
Fertitta Football Complex has been popping, Jesse, to say the least. And head coach Barry Odom has completely revamped this program. He said when he came into the program last year that this team wanted structure and discipline, and he's given them that. He said that they're trying to write their own story this season, and he's given them full reins to do that, and look where they've ended up.
It's pretty remarkable. UNLV took that direct path. They started out of the gates, won 6 of their first Mountain West games. Boise State took a little bit more of an indirect route here to the championship game, had a coaching change earlier this month. Andy Avalos relieved of his duties, enter Spencer Danielson, and he told his players in a meeting, said, write these 2 words down, okay? Write them down right now. 2 weeks. 2 weeks. Live it. Give me 2 weeks and let the chips fall where they may. Well, the chips have fallen here in Las Vegas. They earned 1 more game, and they're in the Mountain West Championship game. Let's take a look at this matchup, the tail of the tape, if you will, here in Las Vegas between the Rebels and the Boise State Broncos.
Yeah, Jess, first the offense for the Rebels has been electric this season. First in the nation with 36 rushing touchdowns. You look at the cast they have on offense, All-America candidate Ricky White, freshman running back Jaden Thomas, and oh, by the way, they're doing all of this with redshirt freshman quarterback Jaden Maiava. Defensively, they've got dudes just flying around making big plays. The Rebels have 13 interceptions on the season coming from 7 different players. Every player is getting it done for the Rebels.
I love the balance of Boise State. They're one of 4 FBS teams in the nation, averaging at least 225 yards passing and 200 yards rushing per game. The others, LSU, UCF, and Tennessee, they're really good up front, second in the Mountain West in rush offense and rush defense. Both of these programs are eager to cap off their journey with a trophy lift today.
This team just being able to just persevere and be resilient and just, you know, just stay in it together. I mean, a lot of things didn't go our way this year, obviously, but just continuing to just have a positive attitude and a lot of effort, just coming together and just believing in one another.
Maybe something's not going well. Okay, put your head down. Don't worry about anything outside. Put your head down, go to work, and put a smile on your face when you're doing it. And greatness is waiting for you as long as you do that consistently. And our players have done that. That's why in these moments when they've won these games and to see the smile on their face, it's overwhelmed me with joy for them.
Believe in our preparation, believe in our coaches, believe in the standard that Coach Odom has set. On the very first day he came and addressed us with it. He said the goal is a championship, and
here we are. He's a guy who we all believe in, we all trust, and we all love. You know, he goes out there and preaches great things to us.
He's changed the culture, changed the program, and just everybody loves that guy. He's a great coach, and he's definitely helped us get better as a unit.
Coach Odom has instilled, you know, being a champion, you know, from when we very first started. So just doing something that's special to not only UNLV, but to the entire city means the most to us.
I came here committed to UNLV to change the program around, and that's what we're doing. So, you know, I'm just blessed to be in this position. You know, we're ready to go.
We want to do something that no one has ever done. So I think going into this game, we have that on our mind. We have winning the championship on our mind, and it's something that we've been working for ever since the summer.
Should be a fantastic one. By the way, Spencer Danielson could be the first interim head coach to ever win a conference championship game. Welcome back here to Allegiant Stadium. We're welcoming in a very special guest, the boss. Mind your P's and Q's. The boss is on set with us, the commissioner of the Mountain West, Gloria Navarez. Gloria, this is when you close your eyes and you vision a championship setting, this is what you vision, right?
Yeah, this is gorgeous. I can't wait. We heard folks are coming out in droves, and we're going to have a packed house. We love it.
You've got a blue blood versus a revived program, Boise State versus UNLV. When you just look at the bodies of work of both of these teams this year, I mean, what has you most looking forward to watching these two teams get out on the field and compete today?
Well, to your point, our whole conference race this year was so tight, and the entire point of going away from divisions, all of our tiebreakers was about getting two really strong teams in our champ game, and that's what really is what's happened, and it kind of worked out. So
yeah, and the computers became a part of this because it was so tight. You went down a number of rungs to get that tie broken. Why is it important to make sure that the two highest ranked teams, what's the theory behind that?
And the theory is to best position ourselves for the expanded football playoff, and so that we have the best chance possible for the league to be in the New Year's Six, and then when we expand to playoff into those 12 spots.
We had an exciting announcement yesterday. Oregon State, Washington State, the scheduling alliance. I mean, what will that bring for the Mountain West?
You know, there's so many unknowns still with Washington State and Oregon State, so being able to provide a scheduling agreement really, in my opinion, benefits the student athletes of the Mountain West. They're tremendous programs. They look a lot like us, and they bring a lot of strength of schedule.
When you say they look a lot like Mountain West programs, what do you mean by that?
First of all, geography.
Sure.
They are right in kind of our region, western region. They also very large public institutions, pride themselves on accessible education, a lot of, you know, first access, and really has an alignment with those core values that are Mountain West, that grittiness, the tenacity to outwork anyone.
Well, this is your first year on the job. This marks 1 year since we met you in person. We met you at the press conference last year. I mean, how would you sum up this first year on the job with the Mountain West?
I had nothing going on.
It was easy.
It really, I mean, and it's not just the Mountain West. It's a product of what's happening in college sports. And certainly with Conference realignment, NIL, transfer portal, it certainly has been a lot of change. But I couldn't ask to join a better crew and more well-built league. A lot of credit to Craig Thompson for being the first and only commissioner. And it's just been, it's been a blast, frankly.
Well, the leadership has been seamless, and that's credit to you and the way that you have come in. And I think it all came to a head last night. There was a football game played in here, this stadium, 15 hours ago, and the staff, your staff, had to bust its hump to turn this into a Mountain West championship game. How proud are you that that got done? And you look around and it's Mountain West.
Yeah, walking in this morning, because, you know, our folks did not sleep. The word miraculous popped into my head because this looks like a completely different venue. And certainly, right, pros here, they know how to churn and burn a stadium. But, yeah, no, it's beautiful. And you can't even tell the Pac-12 was here last night.
I mean, there's such an importance, I feel, with the city of Las Vegas for the Mountain West Conference. We just hosted the volleyball championship here. We have our men's and women's tennis championships here, and now we got football this year. I mean, how much does the city of Las Vegas mean to the Mountain West Conference?
Well, certainly over the last decade, Las Vegas has really stepped into the spotlight as the place for sports. College, pro, F1 was just here last week. And so to be the league that has the team actually in this market is really, really special. And then to have them earn their way into this game. So we really do, it's very central to our footprint. We have a lot of fans in the area and that can travel here easily. So it's really, really a huge blessing for us as a league.
theoretically, the winner of this game goes on to the LA Bowl. The Mountain West has a number of bowl tie-ins. How much do you look forward to Sunday, where it's like, you know, Christmas morning all over again, where you get to see who's going where to continue their football season and playing bowl games?
Well, and I don't know if everyone saw the reveal. San Jose State's already been announced. They're going to the Hawaii Bowl, which is Easy Post Hawaii Bowl, which is great. And Coach had a little surfboard and a bathing suit on.
Surfboard, his swim trunks. It was great.
Yeah, and it's one of those moments that, you know, those student athletes will remember for their lives. It's very, I mean, the bowl season is exciting. December 3rd, we're going to get the reveal on all the other teams. We have 7 bowl eligible teams.
Yeah.
Like, come on. It's what a crazy but yet amazing season.
You've been in college athletics for a long time, but first time with football within the Mountain West and being able to go to all these bowl games. You had some time with the Pac-12, but being here with the Mountain West, now seeing all of these teams go to bowl games, I mean, can I ask which one has you most excited that we might see
No,
you
you
at?
can't ask. I am all teams neutral. I hope we all do great and win. But to your point, it's been really special. You know, I've been on campus when I was at Oklahoma. We went to bowl games. That was our team, you know, one team. But having this kind of breadth of competitiveness and depth and having such great representation and multiple places to go is really exciting.
Gloria, appreciate your leadership in the Mountain West, appreciate your staff and what they have provided here for the student athletes of Boise State and UNLV, and enjoy your first official Mountain West Championship game as the leader of the Mountain West as the commissioner.
Thank you so much. I've been practicing my coin toss.
Oh,
I
big
did
time.
see that. Get ready, because she has got the coin toss down, ladies and gentlemen. Just get ready.
It took work.
We need multiple spins. Gloria, appreciate your time.
Thank you.
All right, well, UNLV found its quarterback this season in redshirt freshman quarterback Jaden Mayava. It's all about being ready when your number is called, and he was ready when Coach Barry Odom called upon him.
And the Rebels are off and running with Mayava to the end zone. Touchdown UNLV.
You know, just having him at quarterback, knowing that he could flip the switch and be serious, but also, you know, flip the switch and, you know, be your friend and be funny. You know, it's just seeing that that calmness in him when he's on the field, you know, it's cool.
He's had some mistakes in the games, but just seeing the way he bounces back from those mistakes from a young individual, you know, his true freshman year, you know, that's been a very impressive thing.
He definitely matured the QB position, but he's also young, so, you know, a kid is going to be a kid, a young man is going to be a young man. So when it's time to work, he's definitely go lock in and work.
I just like to see everybody smiling. That's really my thing. I don't like nobody seeing their heads down. I just like to make everybody happy.
It didn't matter if he was QB1 or QB2, Mayava made sure he was ready for his moment.
He prepared exactly the same way from the day we got here, like preparing to be the starter. Because he knew at that position he was a play away from becoming that.
I may be the starting quarterback, but I still prepare like I'm the 2 quarterback, you know what I mean? So I just try to not get too ahead of myself and just be where I'm supposed to be, where my feet are.
But it wasn't without a little help from his teammates, namely All-America candidate Rebel wide receiver Ricky White.
Me and Jaden have a strong connection. You know, we built chemistry throughout the summer leading up to this season. Even last year, you know, he was, you know, the backup quarterback, but we still had connection. I feel like we kept throwing to each other, you know, running real routes, real game routes. So I feel like that chemistry built it throughout the summer, and it, you know, when he got that chance to start come game time, it was already there.
Those two are always out there after everybody else is off the field. There's a connection, and it started early in the season, but then now this used to be those two. Now it's the core group of receivers and the tight ends. Everybody has bought into it. So I think it started with those two. There's a chemistry, and that's certainly helped us.
It's inspirational, you know, not only to me, but to the other, you know, wide receivers, to the other quarterbacks, you know, seeing the work that they put in off the field on their own free time and seeing how it correlates to the game. You know, a lot of people want to be more a part of that.
That chemistry has led to an offensive explosion this season.
Mayava to pass, wide open, it's Ricky White across the middle. White with great blockers downfield to set up the touchdown.
just everything that you would want in a receiver. You know, he's very smart as well. That's something that I learned from him, watching him play and watching him run his routes. You know, he knows how to read defenses and knows, you know, how to get open and stuff like that. So just, you know, learning from him and being next to him is just an incredible thing, because, you know, I feel like I'm getting better just being around him because he's such a good receiver.
Ricky is just, you know, the ultimate leader, and he's just a dog. I know every time he's on the field, I just don't know what's going to happen. You know, every time he touches the ball, it's a big play.
I think some of the things that I respect the most about Ricky is how he plays when the ball's not in his hand. You know, the down the field blocks, the leadership that he's providing, he's been tremendous for us.
It's the relationship between veteran and rookie that's made all the difference for UNLV this season.
It's taking our team's confidence to all-time high. You know, anytime, you know, you're young like he is, to be put in the position that he's been in, a lot of guys, you know, it might overwhelm them, but not him. He's got a little moxie to him, got a little swagger with him, and he just came in and acted like he's been the starter for 4 years. And just the way he carries himself, he's a very humble kid. You know, he's all about his business, all about the work, and he just wants to win. And, you know, when you had that in the quarterback, who's the leader of the team, it trickles down to everybody else, and we just follow his lead.
Ricky White is behind the scenes and on the practice field, meeting room, his voice is so strong. And there's not anybody that's going to outwork him on the field. So our young guys see those habits and they understand this guy's been around the block. He knows what he's talking about.
Both are ready to continue putting that chemistry on display come Saturday at Allegiant Stadium.
He's a ball player. I mean, you put him out there against anybody, and I'm going to take him no matter what. You know what I mean? So he can line up anybody across with him. He's going to go up and get the ball.
It's just great having him as a leader and our QB, and I feel like he just brings the fuel that we need, you know, in the leader.
Well, as I mentioned, Mayava won the Mountain West Freshman of the Year honor, but also won Mountain West Freshman of the Week honor 5 times this season. Meanwhile, Ricky White just 38 yards away from tying the single-season receiving record in UNLV history. All right, well now it's time to bring in a very special guest, UNLV Athletics Director Eric Harper. Eric, I mean, I have to imagine sitting here right now, you're pretty happy with your hire that you made last year in head coach Barry Odom.
Yeah, pretty stoked right now. I was just telling someone a moment ago that about this time a year ago, I was on my second, third, fourth conversation with Barry, and now here we are at this day. Is absolutely awesome.
So take me inside those conversations then. So you have multiple conversations. At what point did you say this is probably the guy, and what did you have to hear to make that decision?
You know, it was just the consistency in who he is and who he was, and he talked about championship, but that wasn't his focus. His focus was more about how he will help transform our team, how he will mentor these young men, what kind of staff he would bring. And he didn't spend a whole lot of time saying, I'm going to win 6 games, 7 games the first year. We want to win right away. But at the end of the day, it was just about a feel and a gut that you have when you talk about family. And I come from the old Bill Snyder days, and,
Sure.
and it's about family. And he has a lot of those same qualities that Coach Snyder has.
Yeah, you talk about family and K-State alum, so I get you with the Bill Snyder reference there. But you talk about family, and how have you seen him really translate like those values into the team this year?
Well, you know, if you watch a game with him and a player makes a mistake, or he's not just drilling the young man. He's comforting young man and say, okay, here's how we practiced this. Here's how we prepared for this. Let's get it straightened out. You know, unfortunately, the game Fresno State, we had a young man drop the pass. But the compassion and the empathy that he shows our players each and every day, when he asks you how you're doing, he legitimately wants to know. It's not just doing something, asking that question because you're supposed to.
I will say that was one of the things Jesse and I had a conversation about earlier this season is in that Fresno State game, you saw him go up to the player, drop the pass, and he just had a conversation with him. And that's so unique, I feel like, nowadays in college athletics. He went and made sure that player was okay.
Yeah, he made sure the player was okay and let his coaches get prepared for the next plays and the next few plays, because we still ended up with a little bit of a chance there. But he manages the game, and then he also makes sure that the players understand, because he could have easily just walked away and not said one thing to that young man, but that would have been the wrong thing to do in that moment in time, because that kid will catch that pass 10 times over again. And a few weeks later, he catches one of the best passes I've seen all year against Air Force. He mossed it. So it was awesome.
I'm glad you brought that up because I think that was one of the most underrated parts of college football. No matter what team, what conference, was that moment right there. At what point, it's been a magical season for UNLV, historic season, best season in decades. At what point did you allow yourself to say, this is real? We could be one of the last team, if not the last team standing. When in this season you say, we got a shot here?
I'm not really sure I have yet, even though we're here. But I think if I had to go back and pinpoint one spot, it was probably the Air Force game, which they were running the ball fairly well against us, but at the same time, I saw once again the resilience of our guys and the passion and the toughness and the togetherness that they play with every single day. And that's about the time I was like, okay, this can be special. We got a little bit more to go, but this can be really, really special and historic for our university.
Coach Odom said yesterday in the press conference, I think we're just getting started building this thing, and the fact that we're here in the championship in year one of his tenure, this is the standard. What comes next for UNLV football?
What comes next? Well, let's obviously finish out today and then the bowl game. But at the same time, let's make sure we take the momentum that we have and don't settle. Don't have apathy and just we've got there. Let's wait another 10 years and get there again. No, let's get there next year and next year and next year. He talks about building a legacy. Yeah. Legacies aren't built in 1 year. They're built over time. So let's do that.
And part of that build is energizing the fan base. I understand there's 25,000 plus tickets out, maybe significantly more, to continue to pack this place and make this a hostile environment for opponents to come in and play the Rebels. How big will that be in that growth?
It'll be awesome. I mean, we had a really good average crowd this year, neighborhood of 22, 23. But at the same time, getting the lower bowl here with all the seats in is about 26,701. Add the suites and the low seating, you're looking at a little over 30,000. But then you add in these now in the end zones in the 200 level. Now you're looking at north of 40,000, 45,000, and that's what that's our next goal. Yeah. Really, as it relates to the crowd is consistently opening up the 200 level.
Well, the Mountain West, known for its really competitive environments and arenas, stadiums, but let's talk about the football side of things. I mean, the strength of the Mountain West this year has been incredible. The fact that it came down to the last day of conference play to figure out who was even going to be in this game. What impressed you the most about the strength of the conference as a whole this year?
I think just the consistency each week in and week out on how each team prepared. What Boise's done, what Fresno's done. New Mexico came back and won some games this year. San Jose State was absolutely phenomenal in what they did the first half of the season to finish off the year with 6 straight wins. That just shows you the competitive nature of our conference, and we have a really strong conference, and I'm excited about moving forward as a program, but at the same time moving forward with the Mountain West is going to be awesome.
Well, Eric, we appreciate you joining us here on the Mountain West pregame show ahead of the football championship. We appreciate you opening up your home to us today, Allegiant Stadium. We're pretty happy to be here, but thank you so much for the time and enjoy the game today.
Thank you very much. You guys have a great day.
You as well. All right, thank you, sir. This week, Boise State defensive lineman Ahmed Hassanin was named first team All-Mountain West. He has been a wrecker on the line of scrimmage for the Broncos, ranking 5th in the country with 12 total sacks. An incredible accomplishment for anybody, but particularly in this case, when you consider the long road he's had to travel.
On the banks of the Nile River in Northeast Africa sits Cairo, Egypt. A city filled with culture born from ancient roots. Home to a wonder of the world, final resting places of pharaohs, and one of the top pass rushers in college football.
Hassanin will get the sack.
I'm really grateful, and 5 years ago I didn't even know I was going to be here.
Ahmed Hassanin is the first college football player from Egypt.
Hassanin for the sack.
An improbable journey that started 15 years ago with a kid who craved a challenge.
I did every sport possible. I did like swimming, CrossFit, I did jiu-jitsu, I did judo, I did ping pong, I did basketball, I did everything. I did soccer, I did everything.
In 2018, a visit from his American half-brother Corey would change everything.
He's a high school football coach and English teacher.
Okay.
Yeah, he was like, come play football for me. I was like, okay.
At the time, Ahmed knew very little about American football. His only exposure to the game was highlights on the internet.
You know, these YouTube videos that have big hits, good catches, stuff like that. All I knew was people running, tackling, and people running, catching the ball. That's all I know about football. I didn't know there was a quarterback. I didn't know there was a wide receiver. I didn't know there was a D-line, D-end, D-tackle, nose guard. All these people, I did not know anything about that.
Ahmed took a leap of faith and moved to Los Angeles for high school. Speaking very little English, he did his best to learn the game that would ultimately change his life.
Didn't know really what to do there, just grabbing face masks, just throwing people on the ground, try to play wide receiver, couldn't catch the ball, I was really bad at catching the ball. So I was like, all right, what I'm gonna do is you told me to, like, all right, stay on the D-line and go get the guy who has the ball. I was like, okay.
It didn't take long for the new kid in town to thrive on the field, and a young defensive coach in Boise, Idaho, named Spencer Danielson took notice.
He texted me and he was like, love your film. And I was like, oh wow, Boise State, check this out.
What neither knew at the time, Danielson played college football with Ahmed's brother at Azusa Pacific years ago.
And his brother is probably 5'10", 180, and he called me and said, and this is during COVID, so we couldn't go out and recruit, and his brother called me and said, hey Spence, you know, my brother plays defensive line, I think he can play at Boise. And my initial thought is, we're not looking for any more 5'10", 190-pound defensive linemen, right? And he sent me some Twitter videos and just some videos of him essentially like in a garage with, I'm talking full on mask on, working pass rush drills against like a neighbor. And I'm like, dude, that's a big dude. Like, that's an explosive guy.
Through what Ahmed calls a miracle, he became a Boise State Bronco.
The first time he came here, we gave him a protein shake, and it was like, what? Like, do I get this every workout? It's like, yeah, it's college football. You get nutrition. He's like, it was like I gave him $1 million because he's grateful for everything he's given. You coach him. Coach, thank you for that.
Ahmed continues to learn the English language and the game of football thanks to his teammates. In return, he's eager to share his culture with them. Last spring, he took Bronco linebacker Marco Notriani back to his hometown of Cairo.
It was surreal. I mean, definitely hit all the touristy spots, and it was very cool. I didn't know you could crawl through one of the pyramids and see one of the caskets in there, and so it was a tight squeeze for me and Ahmed. It felt more like I was in Indiana Jones, just like crawling through tight crawl space and just getting through the middle, and you just look around, you're in the middle of one of the great pyramids. Really cool.
Ahmed's impact on this program reached its pinnacle last Saturday. The new kid from Egypt, who has recorded a sack in 8 straight games, was asked to carry the hammer and lead the Broncos onto the field in the regular season finale.
He about to start crying. Yeah, he about to start crying. He'll grab you by the face, Coach D. Thank you.
It meant the world to me, and just to lead my brothers, and I know they have my back, and just to raise that hammer. And when you have 36,000 people watching you, and you have the hammer, it's a feeling that you're never gonna forget. I'm never gonna forget that feeling.
Hassanin anchors a very smart defensive line. 7 players speak a total of 8 different languages. Pretty impressive. Speaking of impressive, and a great defender in his own right, and a smart defender, Boise State great Kekawa Kaniho joining us here, former Nickelback defensive back. My man,
how's it going?
We're great. I appreciate you making time for us down here.
Of course.
So Boise State in a championship game, I'm sure you're like, yeah, no duh. But does it ever get old seeing the blue and orange in a setting like this with a championship on the line?
Yeah, it doesn't, even though we've done it a couple times and I played in a few of them. It takes so much work and effort to get to this point. So, when you see your team there, you know all the things that have gone into it and the behind the scenes of what had to happen to get there. And especially in a year like this, right, so many things worked out in our favor and we got some things done. So it's awesome seeing them here today.
Yeah, you talk about the ups and the downs, and the Boise State team went through it all this season. I mean, what makes you most proud of just the grit that got this team to this point?
Yeah, totally. I know looking back, I was trying to tell the guys from the outside looking in, hey, whether this thing goes great or there's some adversity, you're going to learn something through both of those. And so just keep putting one foot in front of the other, chipping away at it, and next thing you know, some things fall in line for you, fall into place. And if you just keep doing those things over and over again, eventually you'll end up where you want to be at, and it's a product of that today. So hopefully they can go and cap it out.
It's also a product of what Spencer Danielson did 2.5, 3 weeks ago, where he had to rally the locker room, told the guys, write this down, 2 weeks. I need 2 weeks, and then if you expend everything and we don't get where we want to go, that's fine, but they did that. You played for the guy.
Yeah.
You were on defense. Spencer Danielson, a defensive coach. What is it about his makeup that fueled what we've seen here to close the season and get the Broncos here?
Yeah, I think it's his genuineness and the way that he can build trust and those relationships with the guys. The same Spencer Danielson you see on Monday is the same guy you're going to get on game day, the same guy you're going to get win or lose on Sunday when you show back up in the facility. And so when a guy's actions back up his genuineness and his energy and the love and care that he has for you as a player, it's really easy to rally behind that guy, in times of adversity, which is what we've seen this year.
You're still very involved around the program. Your brother, Kaunohi, plays for the team. How exciting is it to see him following in your footsteps and being able to play in a championship game?
Yeah, it's awesome seeing him kind of blaze his own path and make his career. And he played in a couple championships game, hasn't won one yet. So I'm hoping today's the day where they go out there, put it all together, and he gets it done.
I saw a stat when I spent the week up in Boise that every 4 years for like the better part of a quarter century, you've won a championship. Everyone who has walked through Boise State through a 4-year period has won a championship. This senior class right now is still chasing that. That's a heck of a legacy. A lot of pressure on the seniors here today to make sure that they get that notch, that they continue that streak.
Yep. Yeah, anything less than that is coming short of that standard, to your point. You come here to Boise State to play in championship games and win them, right?
Sure.
So just getting there is not enough. And what matters is one play at a time once you get to that point to finish off the work that you started, months ago in the summer and in the off season and 4 or 5 years ago with your classmates and the guys that you've been doing it with for a long time.
Well, let's talk about you for a second, because this whole TV thing is not phasing you right now. You've got a segment, local TV in Boise, Cut Up with Kekala. I mean, how has that been?
Yeah, it's been so much fun just being able to stay involved and around the program and keep my football knowledge top of mind and keep it fresh and be able to share some of that I played with and used when I played. So being able to kind of pull the community in and give them a behind-the-scenes look at what's been going on has been a ton of fun.
Boise State football players integrate themselves in the community and the community in them. It's one of the most endearing things about that program, I think, in Boise. And a lot of guys stay. You're from Hawaii.
Yeah.
We'd all love to go to Hawaii. We'd all like to call Hawaii home. But you stayed in Boise.
Yeah.
Why? And then what are you doing for work?
Yeah, I think it's the people and the way that everybody treats each other and cares for the community and holds it as such a special place in their heart. And you can see that in the way that people move around town and support this university, support the team in the same way that the guys can give back to the community. And so, yeah, to your point, I've fully invested myself back into that, and I'm working at TOK Commercial as a commercial real estate broker, so helping people buy, sell, and lease commercial real estate.
Well, you and your brother are keeping busy, too, outside of the football field. You guys have a clothing brand, 90 Proof?
We do, yeah.
Tell us about that.
We've got 90 Proof. It's a golf apparel brand, and it's a play on the score of 90, right? Every amateur golfer wants to break that score of 90.
Well, what a great day that'll be.
Exactly. So whether you're great now or just getting started, we've all been at the point where you've been 90 Proof, right? Not able to break it, but you enjoy the vibe. You love being out there with the guys, and it's a great time. So yeah, diving into that as well.
Awesome. Well, Kekala, thank you so much for joining us today. It's great to see you again.
Yes.
Last time I saw him, we had him drawing a Boise State logo at Mountain West Football Media Days in 2021. I didn't want to embarrass him and bring it out, so you're welcome for that. But
Thank you,
great to see you again. Thank you so much, and enjoy watching the Broncos
Yes.
today.
Great to see you guys. Thanks for having me.
Commercial real estate, no artist for you, my man. All right, moving on. On Tuesday, Boise State running back Ashton Jeanty was named Mountain West Offensive Player of the Year. He's a versatile weapon whose greatest asset just might be the relationship he has with the guy with whom he shares the backfield.
First down and more, into the clear.
Together, they make up one of the most dangerous backfields in college football.
Touchdown, Ashton Jeanty.
He goes out there, he makes plays, he's explosive, he's physical, he's downhill, he's a downhill runner, he does it all.
You know, he's just so smooth with it.
Kalani shakes 2 tacklers.
Against Utah State, one of his runs where he juked inside and then gave the safety like a 1-2, and like he didn't lose any speed, and it was just so smooth. Like he didn't even have to move his body, it was just his feet just working. So just watching him and how he moves, you know, I'll try to emulate some of that stuff.
Oh, yeah, you feel me? Come on.
But for much of the season, injuries robbed the Broncos of the use of both players. Boise State played 8 games with at least one of this dynamic duo injured. While Halani was sidelined for 6 weeks, Jeanty took the college football world by storm.
Jeanty sheds tacklers to their 30.
He was a man on a mission coming into this season, and it was unfortunate George went out, but he took all that time and he just emerged, and I call him my Emmitt Smith, man. He just does everything so well. He's sneaky, explosive, has great contact balance, picks up blitzes well, and he catches the ball out of the backfield.
Very few tailbacks can do both, where they can absolutely run by you or make you miss where you don't even touch them, or a third option, just run you over. He can do all 3.
The sophomore sensation is the first FBS player in 4 years with 1,000 yards rushing and 500 yards receiving in a single season.
I take a lot of pride in it, especially with the way things are going now at the next level too, at the running back position. Just being able to do so many things in this offense, I think it only helps us.
A lot of people don't know, in high school, he was a slot receiver for most of his career, and he played running back his senior year, but his skill set's so versatile, and I think that's what makes him, you know, so valuable, you know, looking at the next level, because he can help you in all facets of the game.
High steps into the end zone.
And just when Jeanty established himself as one of the top offensive weapons in the country, the veteran re-enters the lineup.
Power running by George Halani.
George Halani is back healthy, completing the dynamic duo once again.
It's been exciting to be out there, and that's a shout out to, you know, the strength staff, coaching staff, the medical staff, all those people. Just for me, just to, you know, trust the process and finally be able to be, you know, back out there healthy. Yeah, it's a blessing.
Boise State did not lose a single Mountain West game this season with both players in the lineup.
Finding ways now to be able to get them both in the field at the same time, and for a defense to have to deal with both of them throughout a game, that's tough.
I think the biggest thing is just, you know, taking a load off the other guy. When you're able to be fresh and, you know, you're not tired, those big plays are going to keep coming. So, you know, George might be in for 3 plays and I might be in for 2 plays, but we're both explosive the whole time.
Ashton Jeanty became the 19th player in Boise State history to top 1,000 yards in a season. What a run he had as the Offensive Player of the Year. Well, we're pleased to be joined here down on the field by the athletics director at Boise State, Jeremiah Dickey. Jeremiah, thank you for making time for us. You're a busy man these days, and what a time it is to be a Bronco back in a Mountain West championship.
Absolutely. Those are our expectations, and what a beautiful place. I was talking to Harp earlier, and this is a great facility, and we're excited to be here.
We were just talking to Kekala about this, but we've seen the ups and downs of this program this year. But, I mean, what makes you most proud of just how this group dug its heels in and got here to a Mountain West championship again?
Yeah, I mean, it's so hard to put words to it, and it's emotional. You know, obviously making a decision like I did during the middle of the season, that's not ideal, and that's not, you know, it's not something that that I look forward to, nor anyone else. And so when you have that opportunity, and it's almost like chapter 2 of the season, and to see, and you don't know how the team's going to respond. You don't know how Spencer's going to respond. And I'm just really grateful for him. You know, it's you see a different level of joy, and they're playing for each other and the brotherhood that we speak of, and we understand what the expectations are. You know, when you come to Boise State, it's to play in championships and compete. And, you know, going into that Utah State game, we knew it was going to be a challenge, and we land in Boise, and everyone turns on their phone, and New Mexico's beating Fresno State, and we're like, what is going on? So it was a cool moment to be a part of, and we're excited.
Well, when you have to make a tough decision and you make that, you got to put somebody in charge.
That's right.
Someone's got to be the person that at least finishes the season strong. Why was Spencer the guy to say, you know what, let's try to finish as strong as we can. We got a couple of weeks. You're my guy.
Yeah, you know, process is important to me, and I'm looking at both of our coordinators. They're both up in the box on game day. So I'm trying to take in everything. And Spencer and I had a great relationship. He was the interim coach when I arrived at Boise State. And so I got to know him, and he's been obviously with us a lot longer, and I knew he had the heart of the team. And that was important to me. It's always about our student athletes and their experience. And so when you make a decision like that, it was important to have someone that they believed in and trusted, and he knew all these kids. He had been here a lot longer, and you're seeing that play out. I think they're playing for each other, they're playing for him, and that's powerful.
You've had a lot of decisions to make this season, and you've been on the road quite a bit these last few weeks. What's these last few weeks been like for you?
You know, it's exciting. You know, once you get through the initial, I was gutted. You know, that wasn't something that I wanted to do, but, you know, that's part of being a leader. And you make these decisions and understanding you're under a magnifying glass on everything that you do. But after about 48 hours, you know, it's always what's next for me. And our process started, and we hit the road and have tried to keep everything as confidential as possible, because it does matter to me. We're impacting lives and families, and so it was a challenging couple weeks. You know, I didn't get to see my family much, but that's part of this, and very grateful for how it all played out, and excited for what's next.
A couple things. I appreciate that you do take into account that this affects multiple people. I think that's very mature and very big as a leader. 2, it is remarkable that you have been able to keep this on the DL. That's unheard of. But 3, and I'd like to get your thoughts on this, there's a lot of interest in Boise State football. I mean,
Absolutely.
There's a lot of people that said that's something that I would like to be a part of. How heartwarming was that to know that you have a program that many people said, hey, I'd like to be a candidate. I'd like to talk to you about this.
It was amazing. I mean, from about 24 hours in, the text messages, the calls, the agents, the search firms, I mean, it all started. And I knew, having gone through searches before, I knew it was going to be that way. But considering the challenges we've had, you always, you know, there's always questions. Sure. And it made me really proud to be a leader of Bronco Nation and our institution, and to hear what others thought of us. And very similar to the decision that I had to make from Baylor to Boise State. I accepted the job sight unseen, but I knew enough about the blue and the power of it. And to know, even in a year like this where we're down and maybe not competing at the level that our fan base believes we should be, we are still playing in a championship game. And that makes me extremely proud to be a Bronco, and I'm grateful for this opportunity.
Albertson Stadium had an average attendance of 35,867, a Boise State record this season. And I mean, looking around here in this lower bowl, I mean, these fans showed out. To no surprise, though, it's Bronco Nation at its finest right here. I mean, what do you love most about Bronco Nation, and just the fact that you're seeing all of them continue to travel here, support this team, whether it's on the road or at home in Albertson Stadium?
More so than our fan base, which I love dearly. My team, it takes a team, and I can't do this alone. I get way more credit than I deserve. My job is to define a direction and a vision, and our team, and this was big in our off season as we prepared last season for this season. Control what we can control, and there's still 6 games, 6 sellout expectations for us, and that pays for everything that we do. And so to see them step up, and knowing that we were coming off losses and we were still getting the crowd support, and then Bronco Nation, I can't say enough. You know, our job is to provide the best possible experience, and you plan the work the plan, and to see it come to fruition over the last 3 seasons and how it's played out, and even in a season like this where we needed them more than ever, and they responded, they embraced it, and I'm grateful.
Now, to your point, we're seeing a lot of blue starting to
That's
come
right.
into Allegiant
That's
Stadium.
right.
Last question for you here, and you talk about you being a visionary, and that's just not on campus, that's in the Mountain West. You're right at the forefront of that, and we appreciate that. Yesterday, announcement comes out, the Mountain West just got better.
Yeah.
Football Scheduling Alliance with Oregon State, Washington State. What does that do to continue to raise the brand, raise the level of play, and the overall scope of the league?
One, I can't say enough about Gloria.
Yeah.
I mean, she's a warrior, and this has not been an easy process, and you all know better than anyone. And for us to finally get to that place and understanding it's for the 2024 season, it's progress, and it does make us better. Regionally, from a student-athlete experience standpoint, this is what we're about, and we're one of the few conferences that I believe it actually makes sense.
Yeah.
You know, and that's important to us. And so for everyone to come together and leave, obviously my job is to do what's in the best interest of Boise State, but we are a part of a much greater team. And for all of us to commit and come together on what's best for the Mountain West, I think it's a testament to the ADs in that room. I think it's a testament to our presidents and very much a testament to Gloria and her leadership. And so I'm excited for what that looks like. We already had Oregon State on the schedule, so scheduling is hard enough, you know. So there's still some moving pieces to this, but it's going to be exciting to have both of them play our conference.
Jeremiah, you're a tremendous asset to Boise State, a tremendous asset to the Mountain West. We appreciate all you do, and hopefully you get some rest soon. Hopefully you'll be making your announcement soon, and we wish you well and good luck to the Broncos.
Thank you all, and thank you for the work you're doing. Grateful. Go Broncos.
Thank you.
Well, a teammate, captain, son, former Razorback, and now a Rebel. No matter where Jackson Woodard's football journey has taken him, he's been a leader in the truest sense of the word, and nothing has changed since arriving in Las Vegas, wearing the scarlet and gray under head coach Barry Odom.
Oh, that's my guy. You know, he's a hard hitter. That's what I think. It comes to my mind. You know, he comes down the hill, he makes plays, and he's a great leader as well.
My partner in crime, you know, we talk together, we play together in the middle, so we just try to go out and wreak havoc together.
One of the best leaders I've been around in coaching in 20 plus years.
Always growing up, wanted to be more of a vocal leader. I think that's important if you want to be great. If I can lead and that's going to help our team win, then that's what I need to do, and that's what I'm going to do.
A Little Rock native, Jackson Woodard began his collegiate career as a walk-on at the University of Arkansas, where he met Coach Odom.
He's an amazing man, amazing coach. I look up to him so much.
When Odom left to take the job at UNLV last December, Woodard knew he had to go too.
I knew the man he was. I knew the coach he was. I knew what I was going to get when I came here, and he's also a winner. You know, winning follows him, and so I wanted to come win with him, and I knew what I was going to get, and you know, so that's what I'm getting.
The junior linebacker was one of 3 Arkansas transfers to follow Odom and enroll at UNLV. Since then, becoming a team captain and leading the Rebels to 9 wins, for the first time since 1984.
Not only does he know the expectations of the coaches and what they want us to do as players, but he also knows the playbook. He set the standard very high when we first got here, when we first started spring workouts and whatnot, so everybody wants to listen to him, and he knows what this looks like and how it gets done and how to win, you know.
It's been easy. This group just wants to win, goes to work, but it's been awesome being able to, you know, be one of the leaders on this team.
I'm so thankful that I have the opportunity to continue to coach him. A wonderful person, a great family. Everything that is pure about being a college football student athlete, he does it every single day. He's a 4.0 student. There's not anybody that pours more into the team than he does.
This season, he ranks 34th in the nation with over 8.5 tackles per game, leading the Rebels with 104 total tackles on the year.
It's his will. You know, he's going to go 110% every single play, no matter what the score is. He's never going to give up. He's never going to quit. He's always there, pushing himself, feeling him, and bringing others along with him.
He doesn't think about coming out the game, no matter if he has a bruise or neck or nothing. That dude's one of the toughest dudes. He makes me, you know, stay on my 10 toes as far as like being tough. he leads us when we need it, and he's a vocal leader. And just his physicality that he brings to the table, you know, makes everybody around us want to be more physical.
He credits Coach Odom for instilling in him a winning mentality.
I think the biggest thing is that he's just showed me how to attack each day with that winning mentality. You know, I've always worked hard, but I think he's just helped me focus my work. I've been able to accomplish a lot with what he's taught me on the field. Obviously, he was a great linebacker. So coming from a linebacker who's played in college, I've learned a lot.
He's very selfless in his approach every day, and he's a great example for all those around him. What can happen when you decide to go be great.
Well, he's led this team on a historic journey this season and has a chance to make even bigger history here in a few hours. Well, we've got a Rebel now joining us, a former Rebel who's no stranger to making history himself, Ryan Wolf. It's great to have you join us here today. I mean, what do you make of all of this? UNLV is in the Mountain West Championship game.
It's been a long time in the making. It's just so exciting for like this team, the fans, the community, ex-players like myself, like to be able to experience this. It's just been awesome.
Ryan, you played here some 15, almost 20 years ago?
Somewhere around there. Yeah.
When you came to UNLV, and everyone has aspirations of, hey, we're going to make this a championship program, and it's been a long road.
Yeah.
When did you realize this program might have a shot to do something we all wanted to do, just couldn't quite get there?
I think a lot of it is just like the momentum of the teams, especially when I played. We always came out of the gates with a lot of, I guess, support and momentum from the fans, the community and stuff like that, and we kind of weren't able to maintain that momentum throughout the course of the season with kind of tallying up some wins together.
Yeah.
So it's awesome to see this team in particular. Like, we started fast, we maintained that momentum, and the community support has just kind of grown with each victory after that. So something that we just got to keep building with for moving forward for the future.
Yeah, I got to luckily spend the entire week with UNLV here, catching up with the players, head coach Barry Odom, and like it's so cool to have been in that Fertitta football complex. One, it's incredible, but two, just to see the way that he has revamped this program and told this team, you know, you have the opportunity to write your own story here this season. When you look at what head coach Barry Odom has done in just 1 year, I mean, as a former player, what do you like most about the way that he carries himself and represents this UNLV program?
I think just from the get-go, when the day he stepped foot on campus, you knew he had a plan. You knew he had a process for which he was going to try and set this team in the right direction. And the expectation from the very beginning is we're going to come here to win. Just like 5 minutes ago, I got a chance to talk to Coach Hunky Cooper, and he kind of said the same thing of the special thing about this team is that the people in the locker room are not surprised by the way the team is playing right now. So they had a plan from the very beginning, and that all started with Coach Odom.
Well, we're kind of burying the lead here as it relates to your career. Earlier this week, the Mountain West announced its all 25th anniversary team. You were named to that team on offense. You're the Mountain West career leader in receptions, 283. At the time, is 12th most in college football history. You look at the names on here, Ryan. I mean, we're talking Derek Carr, Devontae Adams, Donnell Pumphrey, the NCAA's all-time leading rusher from right here in Vegas, Josh Allen, and Ryan Wolf. Your name on that, what are you thinking about?
Oh, it's pretty cool. I mean, it's fun now in retrospect to be able to look back at all the cool things that we were able to accomplish both as a team and personally. When you're in the moment, it's hard to get out of tunnel vision. So when stuff like this pops up, it's always good to reminisce and to be in the same breath of some of those like all-time greatest football players to ever touch the field has been awesome.
I'm curious from your perspective, you know, playing in the Mountain West and now seeing what it is now, today. I mean, the strength of this conference, especially this year, has been really impressive. I'm curious your thoughts to see the evolution of this conference as a whole.
I think it's good for every school and every team. I mean, each and every week, I feel like both teams come into the game feeling like they can compete and win. So it just makes it a better viewing experience for the fans, and just the competition across the board is going to make everybody better.
You played for a coach, and Mike Sanford was an offensive genius, was the guy who kind of made that Utah offense go with Urban Meyer and Alex Smith and whatnot.
Yeah.
I'm curious, the go-go offense. What would Ryan Wolf would have done in the go-go offense in 2023?
Oh, it's hard to imagine, but I think I would have gotten my hands on a couple passes here and there. So regardless, I had an amazing time at my time here at UNLV. Just playing this game has been special for me, a special part of my entire life, and to be attached to UNLV in those kind of record books has just been a dream come true.
Well, we always love catching up with former players, but we got to do the where are they now? What are they doing now? What are you up to now?
Still in Vegas. Just got married a month ago. My wife, Brittany, over there looking on. I manage a team of sports medicine, Smith & Nephew. We kind of help doctors make their patients better. So I'm still kind of in the sports realm, but now on more of the sidelines, managing teams and trying to get people in the right position. So the competitiveness is still there on a day-to-day basis.
Couldn't get off the field.
Yeah, but just this community, it's amazing to be a part of, and it's going to be hard for me to ever think of leaving. So.
Well, Ryan, there's so much to congratulate you on. Congratulations on your marriage. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Congratulations on a 25th anniversary team, and congratulations to you and everybody associated with the Rebels at getting to a Mountain West Championship game. Enjoy game day here today.
Thank you. Appreciate you guys having me on, and go Rebs.
Thanks.
Well, he's been the X factor this season. 2 game-winning kicks, a school record 6 field goals in 1 game, and a Lou Groza Award finalist. Jose Pisano has been the guy to get the job done for the Rebels this season.
Oh man, he's cold-blooded. That's what I think. You know, he's there whenever we need him. He's Mr. Dependable. That's what I say.
I've had good kickers before, but Jose is just on another level.
I don't know if I ever seen a kicker go like what he's done. You know, it's just very, again, surreal to not only watch it from the sidelines, but for him to be our teammate.
He's made 23 field goals in 25 attempts, ranking 4th in scoring amongst all players with 120 points this season.
Being a kicker is no easy job, especially, you know, when it comes down to game-winning field goals, you know, knocking them down, it's a lot of pressure, but you know, he goes out there and it's almost just kind of like it's clockwork for him. You know, that's a secret weapon. Whether, you know, people know it or not, having a reliable kicker like him, you know, it takes a lot off of not only our offensive back but our back, because we know if we get into a situation where he has to go kick a 50-yard field goal or whatever to win the game, we already know that he knows he's gonna make it. We trust him, and he knows that we trust him, and having that secret weapon is a great weapon to have.
Trust. It's what his teammates have in him.
He's money every time. That's what I said. Tell everybody he's money. Like he's gonna go out there and go make it every single time.
Whether it's 2-minute drill in practice, whether it's pre-practice, individual work for him, his translation from what he does on the practice field to then in crunch times in the moment, I wouldn't want another guy out there to win the game other than Jose.
And what he has in himself, because of 3 words he writes on his wrist tape before every game.
My steps is definitely just being consistent with just my steps every time, just remembering to follow through. And then my third one, which is relax, is just taking a deep breath and just kicking the ball.
Before debuting with the Rebels this season, Pisano played at Missouri State, where his craft was transformed by his kicking coach, Joe Metzga.
We had a kind of a kicking coach who was also his major was in psychology, and he helped us out on the mental side of the game a lot. Huge fan of him. He does great work with the mental side of the game, and he definitely helped me be very composed in just hard situations and just getting over missed kicks. So he told me one day just to write down 3 things that I can focus on for the rest of the season. And after I wrote kind of 3 sentences down, he was like, break them down into just a couple words and write that on your wrist. So if you ever are struggling or just don't feel like you're doing as good, remember those things and just trust yourself.
3 words that have separated him this season, and a mentality that hasn't gone unnoticed.
I think he's put himself in those situations so many times in his mind that in real life, he's already been there. He's already been in the moment. He's prepared himself for that, and he knows that he needs a snap. He needs protection, he needs a great hold, and he's going to make the kick. You look at the game-winning opportunities that he's been put in, and he's connected every time. We feel really comfortable as a team if we get close to the 35-yard line that we know we're going to walk away with 3 points. And I've never had that in my career.
Primarily a soccer player, Pisano didn't discover football until his senior year of high school.
One of my best friends in high school was out kicking one day, and he was like, you know, you should be the punter. And I was like, all right, you know what, I'll go for it. It was very unfortunate because he did end up like hurting his hip and was out for like halfway through the season, and then I took over the kicking role, and then I was just like, you know, this is kind of fun.
He went on to play soccer collegiately at Snow College in Utah, but felt that something was missing.
Me and my girlfriend at the time, who's my wife now, we were just kind of talking, and I was like, you know, like, I think I could do something with this football thing. Senior year, a lot of people were telling me like I was good enough, had a big leg, and I was just like, you know, I think I should go back to it, and it was just crazy how it all worked out.
He went on to be an FCS All-American with the Bears before transferring to UNLV, a place he never expected to land.
It's funny because growing up, I used to play a lot of soccer tournaments out here in UNLV, so I was like, dang, like I never want to live in UNLV. But here we are. I definitely feel like being away from home definitely pushed me back to UNLV, and they were the biggest team that kind of just gave me the chance, and I took it and ran with it.
The Rebels hit the jackpot with the Mountain West Special Teams Player of the Year and couldn't be more grateful for the confidence that he's instilled in this program.
Us as an offense, we obviously want to score every time we touch the ball, but he's been able to, you know, watch our back. You know, when we fall short of not scoring a touchdown, he's always been there and always comes in clutch when we need it.
We have a lot of confidence in him, man. We know that thing's going in, so we're just sitting down there. Even when it's a close game, we're like, oh, man, Jose got this, he got this.
Just a guy who's kicking the ball, just enjoying it, and I just want people to just remember that, like, you can really do anything. You know, if you put your mind to it, you can honestly accomplish whatever you want.
Well, it's a simple mindset that's led to a historic season, one that the Rebels and their beloved kicker hope that ends up in a Mountain West title for the Rebels. Well, Jess, we've been blessed with a lot of incredible special teams players over the last few years, but with Jose Pisano being able to talk with the student athletes and hear them talk about their fellow teammate, they just light up when hearing the name Jose Pisano, and they just say, he's money. Like, the things they had to say about him were so cool, and just to see, you know, their energy they had when they heard his name, I don't think I've ever seen anything like it.
Well, it speaks volumes when the linebacker, the defensive line, the quarterback talk about their specialists in that manner, whether it be a kicker, whether it be a punter, a long snapper. If those players had that respect in the locker room, boy, it goes a long way, Bridget, in making that locker room cohesive and guys that you can lean on when the game is on the line. We've seen Pisano kick some game winners for sure. Well, over at Boise State, when we talk about guys who are making an impact, oftentimes punters go unnoticed on a football team. After all, on offense, if you're doing something right, you probably don't need your punter, and that's a good thing. But in Boise, they love seeing their punter on the field. This is a guy that's become a cult hero. The player from a land down under has become an over-the-top success.
Big rush, Ferguson Reynolds gets it away.
Nobody in the country is having more fun playing college football than James Ferguson Reynolds.
He's a no bad days guy, smile on, always gonna have a good joke for you, cool, calm, and collected, but also on point.
In just his second season in Boise, the native Australian has become a cult figure in many ways. The Treasure Valley is making him feel right at home.
He was wearing a kangaroo costume because Ferguson Reynolds is from Australia.
Yeah, dude, that was awesome. All the guys on the sidelines were pointing them out to me. It was pretty cool. It was funny. Laughed at that and gave him a little wave, so it was awesome. Good to see.
He comes a long, long way over here, leaving his family and everyone that he knows behind, and he's coming to a place where he's never been before. And I think, you know, that means the world to him to see those people embracing his culture, wearing the kangaroo costumes, playing his very popular song in Australia before he goes out to punt, and I think that it's made him feel at home.
But the flattering gestures toward their favorite Aussie are not exclusive to game day. Social media has been flooded all season with AI art, all paying homage to the Bronco punting celebrity.
Yeah, it's everything to me. It's awesome, you know. I see social media blowing up just around me all week. It's you know, it's pretty cool and pretty exciting, and you know, it helps me. You know, I go out there in the week, and it makes, you know, it makes the job fun.
And lately, Life is imitating art. James' signature permed mullet is all the rage.
Actually, this week, someone tweeted out a photo of their son getting the JFR cut, and their son got a mullet and got a perm, so I think it's taking to effect now. I mean, who would have thought I'd be here and having some fans get my hair cut? It's pretty cool. I saw that and stared at it for about 30 minutes, which was awesome, but I guess I can't get rid of the mullet now, can I? So stuck with that.
And while many are trying to be him, nobody has come close. At least not when it comes to punting the football.
Ferguson Reynolds with a high boomer.
James Ferguson Reynolds stands alone as the national leader in punt average by nearly 2 yards per kick, and is one of only 3 punters in the country with multiple punts of 70 yards or more this season.
Techniques to kick the ball have come from that Aussie rule stuff, whether that be pinning the football, making it spin a different way to make it harder for the returner to catch. Rolling out, holding it, applying, seeing where the pressure is, if it's coming or not, holding it for an extra second and then getting it off, allow our guys to get downfield. I think it's come from Australian rules football, and a lot of guys are starting to pick that up now. And I think it's really helped my game and take it to the next level.
4th down for us, we're on our -23, and he's putting out. He kicks a 70-yarder, kicks it all the way down to the Air Force 5-yard line.
70-yard punt.
That's a game-changing play. Like, that's a momentum swing. That gets the crowd back into it. I mean, that's as game-changing as a touchdown in regards to the momentum of a football game. And it's hats off to James.
And while fans here in Boise are all in on JFR,
punt will bounce at the 28, roll inside the 20.
It pales in comparison to what happens on game day some 8,000 miles away in Melbourne, Australia. Watch parties at the Ferguson Reynolds estate are quite festive.
So it's actually trending on Twitter. So Dad loves Twitter at the moment. He's always putting photos up of their setup back home. They got the jacuzzi outside, and always have big barbecues and flags and stuff. It's awesome. A lot of different times, it could be on at 2 a.m., 5 a.m., 6 a.m., and then all through the night. So they like the night games because it works out with them. They can wake up, have a coffee, make some breakfast, and put it on. So they've got a good setup. They've got a good setup. They're jealous.
Fun and football. It's the universal way of life for James Ferguson Reynolds.
And well-timed, you can't see it here, but there's a guy up in the stands up here with a sign that says, "Our Ray Guy." James Ferguson Reynolds was snubbed as a finalist for the Ray Guy Award. He was a semi-finalist, should have been a finalist, but makes a huge impact on the game. Welcome back to Allegiant Stadium, and we are now joined by a very special guest who has a big role with his staff here today, Adolfo Romero. He's the Vice President of Event Programming for SoFi Stadium and the Executive Director of the LA Bowl. Adolfo, appreciate you making time for us. You got your eyes on a champion here to invite to the LA Bowl. How excited are you guys here to identify the team that will play in your bowl game?
Well, first off, thank you for having me, and yes, we're very excited. I mean, obviously, we made the quick trip from Los Angeles to Las Vegas here at beautiful Allegiant Stadium, just like our stadium, and we're excited to see who the champion's going to be today, because I think that's going to be who we pick for our LA Bowl, now the Starco LA Bowl hosted by Gronk.
Well, before we get too much into the weeds here, we've got to point out, it's not just you that joined us today. Can we give a moment for the bling, ladies and gentlemen? I mean, the LA Bowl chain. Look at that. I mean, were you the designer behind that?
We have a really good team behind the scenes that does a lot of the work leading into it. We've always wanted to be different. We wanted to stand out. We wanted to build a new tradition, and we're in the entertainment capital of the world, so we needed to have a little bit of that swagger in Los Angeles.
Well, that is swagger to a T right there.
And we like our swagger as it relates to your bowl games.
Yes.
The Mountain West has played there in the first 2 bowl games. No big deal. I mean, we won both of them, right? Utah State wins, and then Fresno State wins last year. The partnership between the Mountain West and the LA Bowl. We're grateful for you. I would imagine that we are providing great things for you guys as well.
I can't say enough of how great partners you guys have been. It's been a great partnership for us as we think about when we launched the idea of a bowl game, going back to the origin of, when Stan Kroenke built this development, the sports and entertainment development in Southern California and Inglewood. We wanted to bring college football to Los Angeles, and we found the 2 best partners that were out there in the Mountain West the Pac-12, to bring a bowl game to Los Angeles and really build a different tradition.
Yeah.
And from day one, the Mountain West has always been there with us. Like I said, we wanted to do some things that were outside the box. We were able to do that with Jimmy Kimmel, right, when we first launched our game. And now we're doing it in a lot of different ways. And now our third edition of the game, it's going to be even better. I think just what we're doing, we're learning a lot about the traditions of the games, but more importantly for the guys coming in. I think to us, that is something that these guys will never forget when they come into SoFi Stadium and they get to play their bowl game there. We see it. We've seen it the first couple of years, and I'll tell you that is my favorite moment when people come in and they see it. And when we see these guys come onto the field, they look up to our infinity screen, they see the stadium, and it's priceless.
Well, it's getting bigger and better this year in its third year, hosted by Gronk this year, one of the biggest personalities in sports. How do you describe how that all came about and what he will add to the LA Bowl?
Yeah, I mean, that's a really unique partnership for us. We're working with Gronk, and one, he was interested in coming on board with us and really extending our story out to the community and also to the college football community. And more importantly, too, I think for us, he was bringing something, a missing element, a little bit of understanding someone that had played the game. He played in the old Las Vegas Bowl, and so he tells that story all the time. Really, he leads with that. The fact that he was a player in the game, and he understands sort of like what a bowl week is like for an athlete is really important. So now when he came in, I think as we're talking to him, he's got a lot of really great ideas. We're going to have a lot of surprises on game day, but you can already see the way he's going to engage with the student athletes that are coming into the game is so unique, and I think for us that's really important, because that elevates our brand of the game, and we want more people to be coming and say, hey, I want to go play in the LA Bowl, not just because of Gronk, but also because everything else they're doing in the community, everything they're doing for Bowl Week, and the fact that it's at SoFi Stadium.
Last question, and we'll turn you loose here so you can get focused on game day. You mentioned some of the things that are surprises. Not going to ask you to reveal some of those surprises, but what are some things that fans can expect in the new look LA Bowl as you guys continue to evolve and make it better each and every year?
Well, as of yesterday, breaking news, we have a brand new naming rights partner, Starco Brands. So it's now the Starco Brands LA Bowl hosted by Gronk. And we really are excited about our new partnership with Starco Brands and what they're going to bring to the table to really make the game day experience very unique for fans coming in from either Las Vegas or Boise. Hopefully, we'll see who that is today. And on the Pac-12 side is the same thing. But really what we wanted to do is enhance the experience of a game at SoFi Stadium. It's not an NFL game. It's a college football game. We want to bring those traditions. We wanted to bring that energy. I think Gronk is going to do a lot of that, right? The excitement. Our fan fest before the game is going to be, we're going to have some surprises there as well. So we encourage everyone to not just come in for the game, but also arrive early during Bowl Week, because we're going to have a lot of events leading into the game.
Wow, leave us at the edge of our seats. We're all excited. Well, Adolfo, thank you so much for joining us today. Take care of that bling. Make sure no one takes it, because we've seen some of these fans eyeing it.
They're eyeing it.
They're eyeing it. They want it. But thank you so much for joining us, and we look forward to seeing who's going to be in your LA Bowl.
Can't wait. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, sir. All right, so we've established the stakes. LA Bowl, right? We've established the matchup. We've identified all the key players. Now it's time to go deep into the weeds and get the keys to the game, the keys to a victory from two guys who know these two teams best.
Hi, this is Bob Beeler, the voice of the Boise State Broncos. We're excited to be in the Mountain West Championship game, and Boise State is hoping to win Mountain West Championship number 5. Here are my 3 keys to Boise State getting it done, and we'll start with number 1. I think Boise State needs to run the football. They are second in the conference, averaging 208 yards a game. Genty is averaging over 6 yards a carry. Halani is averaging 5.5. Those are the best weapons on offense. They have been great all year behind a big physical offensive line. It helps keep UNLV off the field. And guys, they've also been extremely explosive, getting one-play long drives up the middle as well. Number 2 is the pass rush. It has to interrupt the timing of Mayava, the quarterback from UNLV. First-team All-Mountain West defensive end Ahmed Hassanin has 12 sacks this season. In the last 8 games, he has 10.5 and has at least 1 in each of those games. They have to harass him. They also have to play well against the run. Boise State's defensive line has to get after it because UNLV's receivers are excellent. You ever played backyard football? 5 alligator is a lot shorter time than 7 alligator. You got to get to the quarterback and make him throw it before he wants to. Number 3 for the Broncos is show off their best kickers and punters, and that's James Ferguson Reynolds, who's averaging over 50 yards a punt, and Jonah Dalmas, who has made multiple field goals of over 50 yards. I know UNLV has good kickers and punters, but I think the spotlight's going to be on Boise State. They need to keep the ball away from DeJesus, the punt and kick returner for UNLV, cover that well, and then Jonah Dalmas, when called upon, needs to make field goals to keep the Broncos in the scoring column. Again, kicking and punting, I think, is Boise State's third strength and key to winning. And those are 3 keys for Boise State to bring it home for the 2023 Mountain West Championship.
This is Matt Everett, broadcaster for UNLV Athletics, and here are my 3 keys for the Rebels to defeat Boise State this weekend. First and foremost, you have to contain the Mountain West Offensive Player of the Year in Ashton Jeanty. He's also the first player in the FBS with 1,000 rushing and 500 receiving yards since 2019. This is also a Rebel defense that has surrendered over 151 yards per game on the ground. So while you may not be able to entirely stop Ashton Jeanty, you're going to have to try to contain him this weekend. Number 2, the Rebels are going to look to create havoc on defense with the turnovers. This is a team that had, before the loss against San Jose State, issued a turnover defensively in 17 straight games. Their 22 turnovers this year were tied for 7th in the FBS and were the most in the Mountain West, and their +8 turnover margin is tied for 16th in the country. And third and finally, Rebels are going to look to continue to win the battle on third down. UNLV has been dominant on this all-important down all season long. They're 4th in the country in third down percentage, converting over 51% of their tries offensively. Got to shout out the defense as well. 29th best third down unit in the country on that side of the ball, limiting opponents to just under 35% against. So if the Rebels can contain, create, and continue what they've done all year, I think those are 3 pretty good keys for a win against Boise State.
Thank you, Bob. Thank you, Matt. We're back live here at Allegiant Stadium, and we're joined by a very special guest. You may recognize this guy, Kenny Mayne, UNLV alum and Sports Center legend. We did not have
a UNLV legend. That, you know what?
We did not bring out the finest meats and cheeses in all the land for you. We got some spring water for you, so I hope
need it. I like to stay hydrated. I'm tired. I had a charity event in Seattle Thursday night. The band, The Head and the Heart, Seattle famous band, raised some good money. Slept 3 hours, got on at 6 a.m. Yesterday was insane. Most intense game I've seen maybe ever. Washington beating Oregon. I'm from Seattle. My parlay of my 2 favorite teams, my home team and my team I played for, although I didn't play very much. You could have had way better quarterbacks. I just saw Glenn Carano. He'll be here.
Sure.
Randall will be here.
Some guy named Randall.
Sam King maybe. How about Larry Gentry? So I was second string when I was here. I was no big star, but it was fun. The experience was amazing. I've stayed close to a whole bunch of my good friends from the old days. Tony Knapp, our coach, rest in peace, was Boise State's coach.
Sure.
Like there's a whole tie-in about the elevation of UNLV football playing this title game against the team that we have some history with.
Incredible.
There's always tie-ins with sports, right?
Yeah.
Connections, everyone's connected in some
For
sort
sure.
of way. Well, I'm curious, being a former Rebel, what do you make of this season
I'm
for
excited.
UNLV?
Well, we always pay attention, but when it's easier to be excited about something that's going well than something that's just human nature, right?
Yeah.
So I was rooting for him. I was always, got some games. But I think Coach Arroyo last year took it to this level, and now we've gone up to this level, brought in a whole bunch of new talent, and now it's wild, wild west of transfer portals and nails.
Yeah.
But, man, I went to their practice a few weeks ago, and you can sometimes just tell, just walking in a building, literally the feel, the mood, the attitude, the way they jumped to the next drill, the way he controlled, commanded the field. So he's got to go, and I said, you're not in the transfer portal, right? He's like, I'm staying.
I think that's what all Rebel fans are worried about, and I can tell you, I was at the Fertitta Football Complex all week, embedded with this team, finding storylines, all the things, and I can attest to that as well. Like the way he runs his practice, the way this team goes from drill to drill. There's an energy. It's revamped.
That's what struck me the most. Obviously, solid record, right?
Yeah.
For the first time in a long time, but when you I've been to a lot of NFL. I used to cover NFL more than college, and certain teams I won't bother naming. You just knew. You walked in like, man, this place feels dead. Like people, they're not having fun. It's okay to have fun at your job. It's okay to, smile while you're doing something. Be relaxed. You always play better or perform better at any job, right? When you're happy and relaxed, not when you're tense and gripping.
Well, nobody did it better than you did for a long time in your job at Sports Center.
I appreciate it.
In Bristol, Connecticut. What was that run and that rise of that program and that network like during those days where you guys built it into this incredible empire?
Well, I don't know that I came 15 years deep, right? I came in 94. It came about in 79. She already had the Chris Bermans and Bill Patrick and Dan Patrick and Overman and Bob Lee and late Tom Mees, and I'm leaving out a whole bunch of others, Gail Gardner, George Grand, I'll keep going. So they had it going already. I was kind of the second wave, I guess you'd call it, because when I came, they added ESPN2. And I famously wrote a letter to the bosses, check the appropriate box, contracts on the way, second box, keep up the freelance work. Third box said, we'll hire you about the time ESPN5 hits the air. But I literally got hired a month later, for real. I don't know if that's what turned it or not. But my point is, Stewart came in, Susie came in, Reese Davis, look what he's doing, I came in, and a whole bunch of others, Bill Pito, and we kind of were the JV on ESPN2, the Smash, and the Sports Night show. Then they killed that show, and they kept us, and I did car racing. I'd never seen a car race in my life, hardly. Stewart moved to NBA, and Pito went to hockey, and Susie did X Games, and we just all found our way. But, the difference really is, back in the days you're talking about, the glory 90s or whatever, you didn't know the result, right? If you were watching SportsCenter, the moment we showed the highlight of the Twins-Mariners, only the Twins-Mariner people knew. So it still is inventive, it's still a great show, but it's just a different era. It doesn't matter quite as much as it once did. I have to watch at 11 o'clock.
You're a legend for your work at ESPN, but you're still doing some stuff now that's really impressive. That struck me when we were looking up where he is now. What are you doing now? You're helping veterans now. Can you expand on that?
Yeah, I don't know if you guys took a shot of me walking around, but I'm wearing this leg device. It's called an exosim. So long story short, I broke my leg my junior year at Oregon, last play of a game, a fracture dislocation. Came back, played the next year, although Sam King played more. He led the nation in passing, by the way. So every year, you get older, we all know like this hurts and that hurts and your shoulder. And my ankle was already wrecked, but I found a guy in Gig Harbor, Washington named Ryan Blanc. He makes this amazing device. The first day I put it on him, this is not like an infomercial at 3 a.m. I ran on the first day on a treadmill.
No way.
And I couldn't even hardly walk down, I was limping without it. So Gretchen, my wife, and I said, let's do something good. I cried for like 2 hours. Like, I couldn't believe this gift, So we did something cool and started a foundation to give them to veterans who need them. Mike Penix, the Washington quarterback, did a special day. We're going to try to replicate it down here one day soon, where he threw touchdowns to fans. They had to pay for that privilege, get the ball, get the picture, get the video, and we raised money for 2 more veterans. So we're just going $1 at a time, really.
Well, and to make
tell your rich friends, run freely, runfreely.org.
There you go. One more time.
runfreely.org.
To make an impact with those who have served country, one thing you're helping out those who need help walking, need to be pain-free, but to help out veterans, that's next level stuff of giving back.
Well, I'll start crying reading the letters, like their appreciation, how humble they are, and how, like, dude, you just changed my life,
To see that Randall Cunningham, a guy that you played with, he's now back as a coach.
Yeah,
as a track and field coach.
It worked pretty well with his other children, right? He got to the Olympics, so he knows that game. He's still a pastor. He's still making music. He's still showing up and being famous.
Yep.
Eagles will probably be in the Super Bowl here again.
No joke.
Them are 49ers, I think. I mean, if I'm picking one or the other, but no, Randall's a good soul. He was a freshman, because everybody always gets it wrong. They'll say, well, he played behind Randall. It's like, no, Randall was literally, but I think they redshirted him eventually, but he could have played right away. Yeah. But we already had Sam, and I wasn't horrible. Alan Reynolds was there as well. And, he just waited his turn. And then he obviously became what he became. Yeah. But we would stay after practice sometimes, warming down, and like, screw it, let's throw one more long one, which is really smart after you've warmed down. And I could throw pretty far back then. My ball was going like this, and Randall's was still,
Wow.
He could throw the ball 80 yards.
That's incredible.
All right, well, we're nearing game time, so I'm curious. Give us your
UNLV.
30-second rundown, breakdown of this game.
I'll say we hold because of home field, the energy of the room, the fact that they believe, they lost that close Fresno game, right, in the past in the end zone. They are in a position to play their best game, and I think they're all behind the coach. You saw what happened at practice. And, hey, sorry, Boise State.
Well, Kenny, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate you coming on our pregame show.
Thanks for having me.
Enjoy the game today.
I'm excited. I'm down here.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much.
Before we let you go, can we get a home run?
Yo, you want the story behind it too, or are we running late?
Let's get the story.
So we had a dinner with all the international correspondents, and I was sitting next to a guy for the Spanish language, and I said, hey, I've been saying quadrangular for a home run for Hispanic players. How do you say home run in Spanish? And he goes, home run. So every time I had a Hispanic player, I'd say home run. And I think they appreciated it.
Well, we appreciate you. It's been a home run of a season for the UNLV Rebels.
Keep it going.
Kenny, appreciate your
Thanks
time.
for having me.
That's Kenny
Thank you so much.
former UNLV football player and of Sports Center lore. Speaking of home run, how about the time lapse and the turnover that the staff here at Allegiant Stadium and at UNLV, how about the job that they did to turn this into from a Pac-12 championship venue to a Mountain West championship venue? This started last night, right around midnight, took place all night to present time to get this place in shape and worthy of a Mountain West championship. And now we've got Boise State and UNLV out on the field warming up with a championship on the line. What an incredible day. What an incredible venue. Incredible guests. This has been a lot of fun.
What more could you ask for? Being able to sit here, talk with former student athletes, athletic directors, our commissioner, Gloria Nevarez. I mean, this is all you can ask for ahead of a championship. And now we just get to watch it.
And the Rebels have taken the field here at Allegiant Stadium, much to the applause and the dismay of Boise State fans. But this is what championship atmospheres are about between UNLV and Boise State. We're going to kick things off here in a matter of moments. It is a 12 noon kickoff on Fox. Boise State going for their 5th Mountain West Championship. UNLV going for their first. Coach Odom and company, what a run they had. Boise State got off the mat. 3 straight wins to get to a championship game. Who's going to win it here at Allegiant Stadium? We'll find out in a matter of moments. Thank you so much to our wonderful crew here in Vegas. Dennis Trapani, Brian Tripp, Steve Weed, Hannah Parker, Michael Stewart, Chris Rice. Thank you so much to the commissioner of the Mountain West, Gloria Nevarez, for giving the tools to us to do our job. A championship will be won here in Las Vegas. Good night.